Hello, YouTubers. I'm not an expert, and this is part 2 trying to make a dovetail saw handle. Can't say it, can't make it. So this was my first try, and I blew a chunk out when I was chiseling out the slot for the saw back. Pretty nice looking piece of cherry, and unfortunately, I decided it was that was unfortunate. So I decided to start a second one. Why not? So here's where I am so far, and after this, I'll show you how I got to this step and what happened, and if we're going to continue. But there it is. So welcome to part 2, making a walnut dovetail saw handle. Let's see if I can get that back a little farther. How's it look? And we'll get into it. I'll show you the steps that I did. And then the third video is going to be finishing it. I'm out of time right now, but I want to make a video. So I'll have to finish the back and a few other parts. We'll talk about that towards the end of this video. All right, got the walnut. I figured out that this little piece of oak minus 6 pieces of paper is pretty good centered for me. Pretty happy. So that's where my line's going to go. Now the trick is keeping it parallel for very long. So what I've done, right, is I'm going to go ahead and cut into the line, but I'm leaving this down here so I can have a parallel. And I'm going to use my drill press to get this board out instead of chiseling it the whole way. I use a drill bit, I think. Maybe not. We'll see when I get there. Okay, I'm making a jig. If the super glue will come out. You guys can't see what I'm doing. Put a little bit of super glue on there. That's a lot. It's an old bottle, and it's not supposed. I didn't think it was gel, but it's kind of gelled up. It's cold out here in the garage. Little accelerator. Okay. Need my spacers to get the space back. See what I'm doing? A little bit. So I'm making the jig so I can use it a little more effectively. Just a little, not a lot. Let's see what I got. There we go. I'm going to grab a C-clamp. Doesn't look good at all. Let's see figure out what I've done wrong. Okay, that looks pretty good. Pardon me while I bump the camera. Well, that's all I was going to do because my spacer's too big. Okay, can you see what I'm doing at all? Not really. So what I've done is I've marked it so I can drill it out. See a little bobble with the saw there, but that's going to get drilled away. Okay, so give you a pretty good idea. That is about where I want it. It sticks up just a little bit, which I'm going to round the top over. I think that'll look good. So, there's some other fitting to try. Move the camera around here. So if I put the blade, this blade will be lucky to survive. Okay, put the blade in. Well, since the camera's running, need to clean the slot out a little bit better. Then this should all, there we go. All right, edit up to this point. There we go. That's what it's going to look like. Okay, a little gappage there. I'll survive. Little chunk I blew some wood out there again, even though it was my second try. I think the trick would be to cut that groove with a lot more wood out here, so you get something to back that up. Back for the bandsaw. Looking pretty good. I forgot that I was going to leave some thickness in here, so I didn't leave as much as I wanted to. I left about a 1/16 of an inch, a little up at the top. We'll smooth that out with the files and the rasps and the whatnot, and I think it'll come out pretty good. Also, when I cut the front edge off, I managed to get rid of a lot of the bunged up wood I'd screwed up. So we'll play with that a little bit, do a little smoothing, and I think this one's going to come out pretty good. I think it'll certainly be usable. Of course, the other one would have been usable, just having a hole in it. On to the next. So some 80 grit. It's like a sanding belt. I bought a strip of that. Let's get a take of how it looks. Now that's sanded up to 150 grit everywhere, maybe a little more touching up. But that's plenty for now till I figure out how to drill the holes in it. Okay, so what I've done after sanding it most of the way is I took a 1/16 inch bit and drilled all the way through, so I'd have a locating hole that goes all the way through. Then a 7/16, is that what it is? Yeah, 7/16 bit, which is a very tight fit on the saw nuts to counterbore them. And now the saw nuts, what I'm going to consider the left side is 1/8 of an inch, and the right side's 3/16. So I can drill all the way through with 1/8 and then counterbore a little bit but that's close enough to halfway. I'm just going to drill in from one side 1/8 and the other side 3/16 size hole centered there, hopefully. And that'll be all the drilling here. And then I got to figure out how to drill my 1/8 holes in the steel without messing that up. That's not going to be so easy. Okay, drilled the I went and checked the website. 3/16 inch is what he recommended. And I'll show you how the nut's going to fit. Just perfect. 7/16 and 3/16. These have a little bit of a taper to them, so they fit in there just tight. Really nice. Now, somewhere, I need to drill the metal. So I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do that. Okay, so if I put it there, I think that's where it's going to go. It's kind of parallel to the top edge here. It's all the way to the back of the slot. Everything looks good. Ooh, there's a little metal showing through on the brass. I meant to fix that. But mostly what I want is for this knot to move while I drill. If I go over and take that to the drill press, am I taking on the second hole? Now let me show you what I've done over there on the drill press. I had this bit. This I got from, it's an Amana tool, 3/16. It's a carbide drill bit. I think I paid $8 or $9 for it. The idea is that when you're drilling in sheet metal, especially really thin sheet metal, a normal twist bit like this, it's a DeWalt twist bit, will often make like a triangular hole. It'll make a funny shaped hole. It's not easy to drill. So the carbide bit won't do that, supposedly. It was recommended by the saw blade maker, Blackburn Tools. All right, I've been working on that. I'm back. So let's take a quick look. That's this side. I don't have this flattened all the way out, and I don't have the screws trimmed to their length. I'm going to have to fiddle with that a little bit more. But I discovered a little problem. You may have seen it flash by earlier. I blew out another hunk of wood. Let me show you my first handle try. So this is second handle try. Here's first handle try. Oh, there it is. So first handle try, I blew out some on the right as I was chiseling. This would turn out to be quite brittle. This one, when I was drilling this hole, and the drill bit got in that far, it broke out a little bit more too. So I must have cracked it when I was chiseling, and that left a weak spot. And then when I pushed the drill bit through, it knocked that chunk out. So I have an idea of how I can repair that. I think I'm going to try to repair it rather than start a third one. And then I'll finish the rest of the installation. I'm going to have to trim the back and make it pretty. I'm going to make another video for that because I think this video is long enough, and I got to go on a little trip. So it might be a couple weeks before I finishing it. But that's what the walnut handle looks like. I think it looks pretty good. It feels good in my hand. So, well, there we are for now. That's going to have to do it for this one for right now. I'm going to let my brain work on my idea of how to repair that, and I will finish it up in the next video. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you later.